Rating Center. Good morning to you, and welcome to this Thursday edition of the Art Lewis Show, 17th day of July. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we will be talking to Pinconning Police Chief Terry Spencer about a big block party they have coming up in Pinconning. At 11 o'clock, Ken Buck from Buck Insurance will join us, but for the first part of this hour, we're going to learn about camping experience at the Great Lakes Burn Camp. And we're going to find out what that's all about, too, because with us is the person responsible for camp recruiting. We say good morning to Laura Walker. Good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
We're doing well. I think before we get into the nitty-gritty of camping and all that, we need an overview of the GLBC and what it's all about.
All right. So Great Lakes Burn Camp is a camp that was established in 1995 for any child that has been affected by a burn. Burns come from multiple different sources. We always think of house fires, but a lot of children are burned in everyday activities such as making things in the kitchen, campfires, and burns affect them for a really long time. There's the scars physically, but after those heal, there's the mental scars of the burn because you look different and people look at you different. Even they do. And so you're like in a constant recovery phase. So we like to give kids or children the opportunity to get away from it for a little bit. And if you think about that, whenever we're going through a hard time in our life, if we could take a break from it, that would mean the world to us. So Great Lakes Burn Camp is a special place for kids to laugh, play, heal, and grow with other burn survivors for a week in the summer.
How did it get its start? Do you know the story?
So Mike Longnecker is one of the initial founders, and he's still the director at Great Lakes Burn Camp. And there was some firefighters who got together and thought, this needs to be done. We need to do something for these children and make a difference in their life to give them some happiness for the week. And it started just being in the summer, and we also do it in the winter now, too.
Yeah, that was my question. It was kind of based on what I knew, that these were firefighters as opposed to parents who had burned victims. These were firefighters who did this.
Right. So it's kind of neat because the parents, I think anytime your child is burned, it's not just the child that's burned, it's kind of the family. Absolutely. Because the family goes through the experience with them. And so this camp is for the children, but in some ways it's for the parents too, because they get to see their child go away and grow and get some of their self-esteem back, and see them act like maybe they did before the injury happened. See them have some joy.
Yeah. All right, so when is the camp?
So camp for the summer is August 3rd through the 8th, and it is near Kalamazoo. It's at Pretty Lake Campground, so we rent out a camp area with, the cabins and the mess hall and all that kind of stuff, and we set up shop there for the week and host the children there.
How many youngsters can you serve at one time?
So we can take up to over 100 at the campsite. With this camp coming up, we have almost 50 children registered for camp, and we are still open for registration. And we're prepared. We want the kids to come here. We're trying to find the children.
And cost?
There is no cost for the child.
There's
never a cost for the child. No, nope. And we help them get transportation because we know that sometimes that's a barrier. So we are ran by volunteers and funded by donors. And when I talk about donors, I'm not talking about federal grants or state grants. I'm talking about pancake suppers and golf outings and 5Ks and that. So it's truly a volunteer organization. The people that are in leadership, we're all at our own homes. We're doing this on our off time from our normal 9-to-5 jobs. We're volunteering throughout the year to try and set up camp, so it's great for those kids that 1 week in the summer and that long weekend in the winter.
And what kinds of activities do you put these youngsters through? What do they have to do at these camps?
So for summer camp, we're going to have a theme. This year's theme is luau, so we'll have activities throughout the week for the like a Hawaiian luau theme. There's going to be a scavenger hunt. There's going to be a Hawaiian luau, of course, different games, but we also have water activities, so the kids have the ability to go swimming, and we have certified lifeguards there. We're actually looking for a couple more lifeguards if any of the listeners are out there and are a lifeguard and are thinking would like to volunteer. We have a boat, so they can go behind the inner tube on the boat. They do archery, arts and crafts. We do some downtime. We have a dance. We play some field games. They're kept busy from 8 o'clock in the morning till about 9 o'clock at night when they're all pretty darn tired and ready to go back to bed.
Yeah, I remember those days.
They don't get to use their cell phones there. So that's kind of a neat experience for kids too, because kids are so video oriented now, or our whole world is. So it is strictly playing outside, doing things outside with no video entertainment. So fishing, there's also fishing.
Let's talk just for a minute, because I know it takes money to run these organizations. And in your case, I looked at the financial report, and you actually are pretty conservative in how you spend. And how does someone donate if they wish to?
So you can go directly to our website, which is glbc4kids.org, and it will tell you how to donate. We have Venmo. That's probably the easiest way for listeners to donate, is go strictly to our website.
And as far as camp registration goes, can they do that online?
Yep, it's all done online. So that way we have like a video or a computer record of everything. So you would also go to that website, glbc4kids.org, and that's how you register your campers. You can ask questions through there. You can scroll and look at some of our pictures. We also have a Facebook page where we post our videos, and each year each camp we do a dance. And like at the summer camp, they also do a fireworks show at the end, and at winter camp we do a fireworks show. The kids come in a parade, so they're actually kind of treated like royalty for the week. It's pretty neat, and they are really treated like royalty throughout the week. They are fed multiple times throughout the day, 3 full meals and multiple snacks and ice cream and all that stuff. One day we do a Thanksgiving dinner for some of these campers, because we just want to have a holiday with them.
And what's the requirement for a youngster to be able to attend?
So any child that has been affected by a burn, that they have had a burn and they have received treatment at a hospital and done follow-up at clinics, that qualifies them for camp. And you know what? If they received the burn when they were 2 and now they're 15, they can still come to camp. Camps for those children 6 to 17 years of age. And a lot of our campers, once they are past the age of 17, will come back and be counselors at camp. So you can tell that it means something to them.
Well, it's a community nobody wants to belong to, but we're glad there is such a community for those youngsters, right?
Yes, a lot of the youngsters will refer to it as their GLBC family. It's their burn camp family, and they really feel that it's quite something to see them get off the bus and run for those counselors that they've met in the past, or run for their friends that they've met at camp each year.
How big a region do you serve, Laura?
So the whole state of Michigan, and we also have a few campers coming in from out of state also, because even though we're the Great Lakes Bay, we don't want to deny other children. Not every state has a camp for children that have had a burn. So we open it up. And so when that comes into play, then we need to find funding to bring those kids in from out of state. So
even though it's the Great Lakes Burn Camp, where are you headquartered? Are you here in the Great Lakes?
So our P.O. box is in Jackson, Michigan, because that's where the director lives.
Yeah.
But we don't have an office because we're all volunteers. So we have a P.O. box that goes to essentially, I think, our accounting firm that helps us manage the financial end of things. And so that's where our home base is per se. But it's the camp is actually hosted in Kalamazoo area, and then up at Black Lake UAW camp for winter camp.
Do you arrange transportation? Like if someone in Saginaw, for example, wanted to go to the camp, how did they get there?
Yes. So in the summer, so we do it a couple different ways. So this summer we'll have a van that has multiple stops to pick children up. We have children coming north of Gaylord this year. So we have a bus stop that we're picking them up in Gaylord, and then Cadillac, and then Flint area, in Lansing, Jackson, Detroit. So we just ask that, we try and find the closest location for the family and have them put the kids on that bus, or they can bring them to our site our registration site too.
So there's no cost. There's no transportation issues. There should be no excuse.
Right.
You've provided everything.
Right. Yes. But it's hard. I think it's hard to find some of these children. For one, if your child has had a burn, the first thing you think of in the hospital is, oh my gosh, I hope my child survives. They're going to be different. And then when you get your child home, it's getting back to that normal routine. And I think anytime your child has suffered an illness or an injury, you tend to hold on to them just a little bit closer. And sometimes the barriers are the parents, and I completely understand that because they've already had something bad happen, and they're afraid to let go. But when they see the joy that it brings to their children, it helps them heal also.
Just in closing here, is there room at the camp for adults to stay, or is there housing around there if they wanted to be down near the camp?
So we've had parents come and stay at hotels in the area. We let the parents bring the kids and drop them off, but just like any other camp, sometimes if the kid's going to struggle, they are, but in the first day or two, but they'll get better. So it's a time of growth for the campers and their parents. So, but we had a little girl come from another state, and her parents stayed in the area last year, and it was very hard for them. But then this winter, when they came back again, the girl wanted nothing to do. Her parents kind of stayed on site, far away, and it was like they were never there.
Speaking of
move on.
Speaking of winter, do you still do the winter camp too?
We do. Yep, it's always President's Day weekend, and it's at the Black Lake UAW camp. So.
All right. Well, we'll talk before that again then.
Sounds good.
Leave everybody with your website again.
So our website is glbcforkids.org. I can also leave you my email if anybody wants to email me questions or give me a referral, because sometimes people know someone, but they're afraid to say anything, and I'm okay being that person. So I will give you my email and my phone number. So the email is glbccamperrecruiter@gmail.com. And my phone number for camp is 810-614-5206. And you can call or text that number and put me in touch with a family that may want this for their child.
And if you go to glbcforkids.org and check on the when you About Us thing and look for the staff, it's on the same page as the board of directors. You'll find all of Laura's information there too. Laura, thanks for spending some time with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you having me, Art. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Great Lakes Burn Camp, glbcforkids.org. We're going to take a break. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour. 989-752-6111 is the number to call.
Before you hit the road this summer.
All right, we're back with you. As we said, open phones for the remainder of the hour. Anything you want to chat about, 989-752-6111. It was announced today or yesterday that Social Security COLA estimate, the cost of living increase that we get every year, is now going up a little bit more than was announced last month. Last month, the estimate was a 2.5% increase. This month, they say it could be a 2.7% increase in the COLA. However, and you know there's always a however, don't spend it yet. First of all, it's liable to change. And secondly, much of it will be eaten up by any cost in Medicare Part B. So, you see the number and you say, 2.7% more money. Not quite. Not quite. You don't get the full amount, Sorry about that. But it's true. Don't spend it until you have it in your pocket, so they say. So there you go. But you can look forward to a little bit more money anyway, because they say right now anyway, 2.7%. General Motors has seen an uptick in their electric vehicle sales. And this has happened partially because of Elon Musk kind of stumbling with his Doge and relationship with the president and what have you. So the Detroit automaker has accelerated its electric vehicle sales in the first half of the year. They've expanded electric offerings across 3 of their 4 brands.
I didn't understand that.
And thank you very much. My phone talks to me when I don't want it to. Meanwhile, consumer sentiment for Tesla has waned a little bit, but don't count Elon Musk out, folks. If you think his company's going away tomorrow, forget it. It's not. He's going to do just fine. We'll take a quick break here, come back, and we'll get to a call this morning here on the Art Lewis Show. Speaking of automobiles, let me talk about our friends at Quick Lane Freeland next to McDonald Ford. Quick Lane Freeland understands that this has been a sort of a poor year for allergies. And they want to do something about that. They want to keep you safe in your automobile. The way they do it with a product called FrigiFresh. And to learn more about it, here's John at Quick Lane Freeland next to McDonald Ford.
FrigiFresh. Hi.
In Freeland and get FrigiFresh today. And listen, while you're there, why don't you look over the exciting lineup of new Fords at McDonald Ford? They stand ready to put you in the car of your dreams today. Quick Lane and McDonald Ford in Freeland, 2 names that stand together to serve all of your automotive needs.
Save big money on your next.
All right, we're back with you, and let's go to our phones this morning. We've got Al with us in Bay City. Good morning, Al.
Good morning, Arthur. I wanted to get your take on how they ended the All-Star game between the National and American League, how they decided it, because they used a new way to do actually to decide that game.
Well, the way I look at it, it's okay for the All-Star game because it really doesn't mean anything anyway. So for the All-Star game, fine. I would not want to see that during the season. Matter of fact, Charlie Root and I were talking about that the other day. I'm old-fashioned. Play the game out. I don't even like seeing a guy on second base in the extra innings. I'd rather they go back to the old way of just playing the game. And but that's me, And I didn't, in the All-Star game. Hey, listen, it's entertainment. It's a show. So that's fine if they want to do it there. I don't care. That's fine. Same thing with the strike calls. And the challenges. We're going to see that, I think, in the regular season coming up next year. But I'm not a big fan of it. So, anyway, that's it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care. And here's Charlie in Bay City. Charlie, good morning.
Hi, Art.
Hi.
I was sorry to hear about the semiconductor plant being canceled.
Oh, yeah, that
Possibly.
was proposed by SanDisk in Mundy Township, and they have decided not to build it right now.
Maybe that's what happens when you have no one in the state Senate to bribe.
You think, huh? Well, we have no one in the state Senate, period, so I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I know it.
That's
That whole thing, we
Okay.
talked about it yesterday, and
Well,
that it's such a sham.
that's what becomes part of our infrastructure. That's what makes government run so smoothly. If the governor could just set a date for the special election, like she should
Have.
she could just stand back and see what happens.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
they'll change their mind.
but that's why she hasn't, because she doesn't want to stand back and see what happens. She's afraid of what's going to happen.
Well, she ought to read the law and do her job.
Oh, I fully agree with you. Absolutely. She should have done it a long time ago.
It's a violation of our rights.
Well,
voting
certainly
rights.
for the
Deprivation of rights.
270,000 of us that live in that district, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Deprivation of rights, Section 241, 242, U.S. Criminal Code. You ought to read it.
Well, yeah, it probably doesn't
penalties
apply
and
because
go to
this is state law. So it would have to
That's
fall under
federal
the
law.
state.
It's a federal law.
Well, this is a state matter, not a federal matter. If we're talking about the U.S. Senate, yeah, maybe. But this is state law and a state
No,
Senate seat.
Michigan is a political subdivision of the United States of
Well,
America.
okay, you tell yourself
She
that,
took an
and
oath
in the
to uphold that Constitution.
well, then find a lawyer to take her to court. But it isn't going to happen because it's within the state of Michigan. As much as I want to see her follow state law, and if you had told me, she violates state law, absolutely. But
Well, it's in the Michigan State Constitution too.
that she's
It's
supposed
even
it doesn't
more specific.
it doesn't
more specific.
specify a date. There is the problem. It does not
No.
specify a date,
But you have to fill a vacancy.
but it doesn't say
That's
how
the
long you
part.
have to fill it. You got to understand that the law is technical. That's why we have lawyers. You can read
Yeah.
it. You can read it simply, but it's never applied simply.
And the lawyers all agree.
I have no
That's what
idea.
that's what their job is, to disagree with each other, and even judges. I
Yeah.
mean, even the Supreme Court, they don't agree.
No, but when they rule, that's final.
Well, not really. The
Okay.
final authority is the people.
Uh,
That's the final authority.
yeah, as long as the people,
people.
follow as long as the people
We,
follow,
the people.
as long as the people follow the ruling of the Supreme Court, absolutely.
Well, they can change the Constitution.
Well, go ahead. That's a
And
tough
they can-
task.
And
It's tough on purpose.
I didn't say it was easy.
No,
but
it's difficult
that's
because
the final authority.
It's difficult because they
That's
don't
the
want it to be a
final-
political football.
That's the final authority, is the people. We, the people.
Yeah, in the meantime, you better follow the rulings of the Supreme Court until you get the Constitution changed.
Well, even some presidents think you don't have to. Like
I'd
Biden.
make them right.
No.
So
Okay.
either way, she should have done this a long time ago.
Yes, she should have.
So, but
All she has to do is pick a Tuesday, first Tuesday after first Monday of certain months, and she's letting them slide by without doing anything.
Yep,
And she knows that's wrong. She knows it.
it's right for her. It's just wrong for us.
We know it's wrong, too.
You got it. All right, Charlie.
Yeah.
Take
Nice
care.
talking to you, Art.
Same here. Bye-bye now.
Okay, bye.
All right, we'll take a break. Lines open for you, 989-752-6111.
This segment of our community's care
Art Lewis Show, and let's talk to Carl in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. I've never been a big fan of these true crime shows,
Yeah,
where they go back in, they investigate,
Yep.
some murder, some husband that supposedly killed his wife or something like that.
Yep.
But a lot of people apparently are into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was watching some of the news about Jeffrey Epstein,
Nah.
and yeah, I know, but
No, you don't know. Here's my thing.
There's a lot about what happened that just raises more questions than answers.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Carl. I think if they have documents, they ought to release them. And whatever they have, fine. Now, Bondi has said there's no list. I don't know whether that's true or not. But if it's not, if there is no list, then we're all wasting our breath. But if there is a list, it ought to be released.
Is there a list that says on the top of the list, here are the sex trafficking clients that I don't think there's a list like that. But there are people. One of the things that's strange about him is he was a financial advisor, like back in the early 2000s or maybe a little before that. But he had a very mediocre record as a financial advisor.
Well, there's a lot of financial advisors that do. Not judging him on that. Listen, just a minute now.
Can I finish?
I just have one question before you do.
Okay.
If there's a list of his clients, should that be released? And why?
Well, I'm trying to say why. His clients were some of the richest and most powerful people in the country.
All right,
his performance as a financial advisor was just middle of the pack.
So
at
what?
Best.
So what?
Well,
What's that got to do?
What's
that got to do with sex trafficking?
Well, it has to do with these people flying on his airplane and going to his island.
What has that got to do with sex trafficking? Is it guilt by association? Is that what you're saying? In other words, if you're on the list, you're guilty?
No, I'm saying you release those names. You
Why?
don't say these people are guilty of sex. You say these were clients of Jeffrey Epstein's back in the 2000s.
Let me ask you a question. Carl.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's say you're a multimillionaire and you have a financial advisor who's mediocre. Do you deserve privacy, or do you give up your privacy simply because you're wealthy? I'm waiting.
No, you don't give up your privacy.
Okay, then why are you going to release the names of these people?
Is it a fact that these people use Jeffrey Epstein as their advisor? Is that a fact?
I don't know, and does it matter? There are lots of advisors that don't do well.
You say it doesn't.
It doesn't matter because, listen, there's lots of advisors that don't do well, and there are other advisors that do really well. But that's private between you and your advisor. That's not public. That's a private financial transaction.
What about the people that flew on Epstein's plane? Should those names come out?
I don't know. Is that guilt by association again?
Well, did it happen?
You're not answering the question. You just say, well.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Is it guilt by association? If you release their names simply because they flew on the aircraft, so what?
Well, just report it as that. Just say that.
Why report it? Why is it worth news?
Because it happened.
Lots of things happen every day that don't make the news.
All right, so why not report it? Why is Donald Trump? Why did he do a 180 about face?
I have no idea.
We have to release everything, and now all of a sudden, no, there's nothing to see here. Go turn the page, go look somewhere else.
Well, here's the thing.
Why did
I have no